Hi there, my name's Nolan Cooper. I've been working with the Smee lab this summer studying oyster mortality, specifically whether it is caused predominantly by predators or sunlight, rather desiccation, in oyster reef environments. So, oyster reefs are a very important habitat for a variety of species, particularly certain fish and crabs. However, recently, starting around the 1990s, upwards of 70 to 90% of oysters in a given year will die in a reef. Now, most of this is because of predator interactions. We know that much. However, some anecdotal evidence has indicated that it could be a factor, or rather sunlight could be a factor in this mortality. So we have designed a 2x2 factorial study using oysters from our flow-through system that we're going for a month with 80 oysters taken from these and put on little PVC sheets for a total of 2 sheets that we put inside of a cage for a total of 22 cages, which would each have a piece of shading put over half of the cage. And half of these cages would be open-ended to allow predators in, while half would be closed-ended to exclude predators. And we put each of these out at Belgrade and Lightning Point. We measured their survival rates 2, 4, and 8 days after placement. And we can see here the actual bars aren't as much important as the error bars, because this shows us that their survival rate in uncaged oysters was not significantly affected by shading throughout the entire experiment, whereas shading did have a significant effect on the survival rate of caged oysters throughout the entire experiment. So the results of this are basically that 228%, or rather, that our caged oysters had a 228% higher survivorship than our uncaged oysters. Our shaded oysters had a 36% higher survival rate than our unshaded oysters. Overall, what this means is that while predation is the predominant effect that we know of so far in oyster mortality, thermal stress causing desiccation is also a very significant factor, especially in the higher range of intertidal zones, because that is the area in which they are most exposed to air temperature, thus most exposed to higher temperatures, as in the water the heat dissipates more, and thus shading has more of an effect in that area. This could be significant in regards to reef restoration, because adding shading to oysters which are about a month old increases their survival rate significantly, meaning that the reef may have a higher success rate. You can see here, this is one of our reefs that we placed. Below this, we have the cages themselves. On the left side, we have the unshaded side. On the right side, we have the shaded side. For future directions, we would like to try this experiment with larger oysters. These are only a month old, so they die a lot easier, a lot quicker. Larger ones may not be as affected by shading as the younger ones. We would also like to try this in different areas, as our study was only in Lightning Point at Belgrade. This means they had the same predators, they had the same general ecological state in the water, same bacteria, so on. A wider range might yield more significant results.